Catherine Earnshaw is the tumultuous, captivating, and tragic heroine at the heart of Emily Brontë's seminal 1847 novel, Wuthering Heights. She is the wild, spirited daughter of Wuthering Heights, whose soul is inextricably bound to Heathcliff, yet who chooses to marry the genteel Edgar Linton of Thrushcross Grange. This fateful decision, born of social ambition and a tragic misapprehension of her own nature, unleashes a storm of vengeance and sorrow that devastates 2 generations. One character story. Catherine Earnshaw's story is that of a spirit divided against itself, a narrative arc that begins in untrammeled freedom and ends in self-imprisonment and decay. Her childhood at the Heights is marked by wild companionship with Heathcliff, her adopted brother. Together, they roam the moors, forging a bond that transcends ordinary love. They are, as she famously declares, identical in soul. Heathcliff is her absolute, her essential other half. This idyllic, if harsh, unity is shattered by the arrival of the Linton family and the values of Thrushcross Grange. A pivotal moment occurs when Catherine, injured by the Linton's dog, is taken in at the Grange. There, she is exposed to a world of luxury, refinement, and social status, embodied by the mild-mannered Edgar Linton. Upon her return to the Heights after a 5-week stay, she is transformed, clean, finely dressed, and aloof from the dirty, disheveled Heathcliff. This marks the first fracture in their shared identity. Her reasoning is a catastrophic confusion of essence and appearance. She loves Heathcliff because he is her soul, yet she cannot marry him, as it would degrade her. Edgar, in contrast, offers social elevation, wealth, and the ability to aid Heathcliff to rise. Her marriage to Edgar is a fatal compromise. She tries to cage her wild spirit within the elegant confines of the Grange, playing the role of the lady of the manor. This self-betrayal takes a physical and mental toll. Heathcliff's return, now a wealthy and vengeful man, destroys the fragile equilibrium of her life. Torn between her husband and her soulmate, she is emotionally and psychologically torn apart. Her famous delirium scene erupts as her repressed true self. She tears her pillow with her teeth, dreams of being thrown out onto the moors, and cries out for Heathcliff and the liberation of her childhood. Her final days are a protracted suicide, a refusal to eat or live in a world where she cannot reconcile her 2 selves. Her death in childbirth is not a peaceful resignation but a fevered, desperate attempt to finally break free. "I'll smash the window and get out," she cries, yearning for the moors. Her final union with Heathcliff is spectral and tortured, as she haunts him as a ghost for 20 years, refusing to let either of them rest. In death, she achieves the unity she failed to sustain in life, but only through supernatural torment that binds Heathcliff to a monomaniacal pursuit of vengeance and a desperate yearning for their posthumous reunion. Her story is not one of growth but of fragmentation, a life sacrificed on the altar of social convention and a fatal misunderstanding of one's immutable nature. 2 role in the narrative. Catherine Earnshaw is the axis on which the entire narrative of Wuthering Heights turns. She is the primary catalyst for every major event in the novel, the gravitational center that pulls every character into her orbit and dictates their fates. Her function is threefold: as the engine of the plot, the nexus of the novel's central conflict, and the bridge between the 2 houses and the 2 generations. First, as the plot's engine, her choices directly set the chain of revenge in motion. Her decision to marry Edgar Linton is the original sin that fuels Heathcliff's all-consuming hatred and his meticulous campaign to destroy both the Linton and Earnshaw families. Her subsequent mental collapse and death cement Heathcliff's damnation, transforming his love into a vengeful obsession that drives the second half of the novel. Second, she is the living embodiment of the novel's core conflict, the irreconcilable clash between nature and culture, storm and calm, the Heights and the Grange. Her soul belongs to the wild, passionate natural world symbolized by Heathcliff and the moors, yet the civilized, gentrified world of the Lintons seduces her ambition and vanity. This creates the intense psychological drama that gives the novel its explosive power. She is the conflict made flesh. Finally, Catherine serves as the crucial bridge between the 2 families and the 2 timelines. Her marriage to Edgar links the Earnshaws and the Lintons, and her daughter, another Catherine, Cathy Linton, is the physical heir of both houses. Through her, the sins and passions of the first generation are visited upon the second. Her absence frames the entire narrative. Lockwood encounters her ghost at the beginning, and the local gossip about her and Heathcliff's spirits walking the moors closes the story. 3. Symbolic significance. Catherine Earnshaw is one of literature's most potent symbols. Primarily, she symbolizes the untamed, primal human spirit. She is consistently associated with natural forces, the wind, the moors, and wild animals. Her happiness is freedom, her misery is confinement. Her love for Heathcliff is not a social contract but an elemental fact, as inevitable and as wild as the weather on the heights. She symbolizes the self that exists before and beyond social conditioning. Conversely, her life at the Grange symbolizes the violence of social constraints. Her attempt to conform to the role of a lady is a form of self-mutilation. The elegant dresses are cages, the fine rooms are prisons. Her psychological breakdown symbolizes the catastrophic cost of repressing one's essential nature to meet societal expectations. She becomes a warning against the civilizing process that seeks to tame what is fundamentally wild. Catherine offers a radical exploration of female passion and autonomy in a rigidly patriarchal society. Brontë, through Catherine, gives voice to a feminine power that is entirely unconventional. It is neither maternal, submissive, nor virtuous in the Victorian sense. It is raw, demanding, and self-centered. Brontë may have been motivated to create a female consciousness that defied categorization, one whose scale of feeling was as vast and indifferent as the moorland landscape she loved. Contemporary readers have largely reclaimed Catherine as a tragic, proto-feminist figure. While her selfishness and capricious cruelty are not ignored, there is greater empathy for her predicament. She is seen as a victim of a society that offers either a brilliant but confining cage, the Grange, or a liberating but socially destitute bond, Heathcliff, with no viable third option. Her declaration, "I am Heathcliff," is now celebrated as one of literature's most potent expressions of transcendent, identity-merging love. In conclusion, Catherine Earnshaw remains one of literature's most compelling and enigmatic heroines. She is the wild spirit of Wuthering Heights, whose fateful choice to marry Edgar Linton rather than her soulmate, Heathcliff, unleashes a generational tragedy. Her story is a harrowing journey from untamed unity to social fragmentation to a spectral, restless longing. Catherine Earnshaw, in all her glorious, destructive, and passionate contradictions, is the furious, beating heart of Wuthering Heights, ensuring that both she and the novel remain eternally alive, unsettling, and utterly unforgettable.